ones. And there are others that are important, but these here help to form some of the common law provisions that we operate by today. Worth reading, worth knowing, worth practicing, and worth upholding. And the Crown has an obligation to uphold these as well. Now, these things are able to be used when a citizen swears an oath in accordance with Clause 61 of the Magna Carta. And it explained this in more detail in the full text, which again, I recommend you go and you actually read. You can do so on our website at www.nationalist.ca /P = 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. We'll touch on that later in a bit. But if you're somebody who is eager to learn how to swear an oath, you need to read Clause 61. Clause 61 also talks about obeying the orders or swearing an oath of allegiance to the 25 barons. So this 25 barons committee, they are the ones who are able to invoke the Magna Carta, and they're the ones able to allow citizens of the realm to gain access to these lawful provisions. And so in accordance with Clause 61, you must obey their orders and you must swear an oath of allegiance to this committee. You must also pledge to save from harm, to save harmless, the throne, monarch, and their heirs or children. So you cannot do any harm to the queen or the king or the current monarch. This is included in Clause 61 as well. And when redress has been obtained, the citizens and those who have sworn an oath must resume their old relations toward the Crown. So when the Crown has made redress on whatever it is they've been petitioned on by the Barons Committee, whether it be withholding the Treaty of Nice from being granted royal assent or some other thing, anyone who has sworn an oath in accordance with the Magna Carta, once this redress has been obtained by the Barons Committee, the people who are operating under this treaty must resume their old relations toward the Crown. And anybody who has sworn an oath in accordance with Clause 61 may afflict the Crown to the best of their ability, distrain and distress the Crown in any manner that is considered lawful under this treaty. Use your imagination. Some things to consider when swearing an oath. An oath of this nature we recommend being made public and served to the Crown. So, for example, our constituency made our oath public by simply posting it on our website. Keep in mind we're a federally sanctioned political party, so this might not be something that's directly relatable to you, but just to give you an example, we posted it publicly on our website. It's very important that it's served on the Crown in some capacity so that they are aware of it. And you might also want to keep a copy of your oath on you in case you're ever stopped by the police, you ever encounter the police, and you need to show them, you need to serve them. You can produce the documentation, you can produce your oath that serves as proof that you have sworn such an oath and you're operating under the provisions of the Treaty of Magna Carta. Any Crown agent who, when called to do so, fails to honor this Treaty of Magna Carta may be held criminally liable for aiding and abetting high treason. Crown agents, those who have sworn an oath of allegiance to the British Crown, they must honor this treaty, and blatant neglect or failure to do so may be considered aiding and abetting high treason. And that is a very serious accusation. And Crown agents should be aware of this. So perhaps you're somebody who needs to make them aware of this. Regardless, nobody should be committing treason, especially people who have sworn an oath to the British Crown. So keep that in mind. That's a very important provision there, is that the Crown has agreed to honor this treaty, which was sealed over 800 years ago, and to discard it or neglect it or dishonor it would have those who are responsible potentially held criminally liable for aiding and abetting high treason. The Magna Carta supersedes statutes and acts sanctified by Parliament. What this means is that Parliament does not have the authority to revoke or repeal or amend any provision that's embodied in the Magna Carta. That is because it was agreed upon and created at a time where Parliament didn't exist. Parliament was not tasked with crafting or swearing upon this agreement. It was made directly between the Crown and the Barons Committee. And so if it is to be repealed or revoked or abolished at some point, then it is those same two parties which must again meet and agree to do so. Parliament cannot amend or repeal or change the provisions contained within the Magna Carta. It's directly between the Crown and the Barons Committee. We recommend those who swear an oath in accordance with the Magna Carta conduct themselves with honor, integrity, and honesty at all times to the best of their ability. Honor, integrity, and honesty. Honesty in this capacity means not delivering an intentional lie. Do not intentionally lie. Honor means basically doing what you say you'll do and doing what is morally right and justified. Can also be described as having integrity. Operating under the provisions of common law contained within the Magna Carta, as we mentioned previously, can be considered enshrining stare decisis as the principle of justice. Stare decisis is a Latin phrase which essentially means that judicial decisions or decisions in law are built upon decisions that have come before it. And so if something has been decided upon as a precedent, it should continue to be decided upon in a similar manner. Any government which attempts to do things which are unprecedented and have no previous decision that is justifiably related are not operating with the principle of stare decisis, and therefore would not be considered lawful under common law provision. Examples of such common law provisions include a writ of habeas corpus, which means that somebody would be free from arbitrary detention or imprisonment unless the court can prove justifiably, beyond a reasonable doubt, the necessity or the grounds for imprisonment or arrest or detention or remand. If you are somebody who believes somebody has been arrested arbitrarily or imprisoned arbitrarily, you would submit a writ of habeas corpus to the court in order to compel them to produce the the evidence which gives grounds for said imprisonment or arrest. Under common law, an accused is innocent until proven guilty. We presume innocence, we do not presume guilty. And in terms of proving guilt, it must be done so beyond a reasonable doubt. If reasonable doubt remains, then the accused is acquitted. Common law provisions recognize double jeopardy, meaning that an accused cannot be tried again on the same or similar charges following a valid acquittal or conviction. So if you're accused of a crime and you are acquitted of it or convicted of it, you cannot be tried again on the same or similar charge. Protection from so-called double jeopardy. Common law recognizes exclusionary rule, meaning that evidence collected or analyzed in violation of the accused's constitutional rights cannot be used in a court of law. Common law recognizes the right to a fair trial within a reasonable time. And common law recognizes the right to remain silent and to avoid self-incrimination. These are only a handful of common law provisions. There are many, many more, but these are the most basic and most common ones. And we suggest you familiarize yourself with all of these, because if you are swearing an oath in accordance with the Magna Carta, these things are made available to you, and you should definitely use them and understand them. The bottom line, when invoking and operating under the Magna Carta, is that Her Majesty the Queen must honor this treaty, and so too must everyone who has sworn an oath to the British Crown. So every Crown agent is beholden to uphold and honor the contractual lawful provisions contained within the Magna Carta, which was sealed over 800 years ago, remains lawfully binding on the Crown today. That means the British Crown. And citizens of the realm need to empower themselves with this knowledge by employing these common law provisions when they're dealing with Crown agents. And they also need to teach other citizens of the realm so that people are informed of their rights and they are exercising their rights. It's very important. Know your rights. And the Magna Carta is a great step to defending and upholding our rights as citizens. Here are a few quotations about the Magna Carta, which we think are important enough to contain within this presentation. Here's one from Sir Winston Churchill, the former Prime Minister of Britain during World War II and in the 1950s. He said, "Here is a law which is above the king, and which even he must not break. This reaffirmation of a supreme law and its expression in a general charter is the great work of the Magna Carta, and this alone justifies the respect in which men have held it." The Great Charter is the first great public act of the nation after it has realized its own identity. The whole constitutional history of England is little more than a commentary on the Magna Carta. A powerful quote there from William Stubbs, former Bishop of Oxford between 1866 and 1884. Magna Carta is the Bible of the English Constitution. William Pitt, former British Prime Minister. 2015 is the 800th anniversary of the sealing of the Magna Carta, the single most important legal document in history, the foundation for global constitutions, commerce, and communities, the anchor for the rule of law. That's from the Right Honourable Fiona Wolfe, Earls of Halsbury. Halsbury's Laws of England once stated that the Magna Carta is as binding upon the crown today as it was the day it was sealed at Runnymede. Hugely important considerations and connotations there. As binding upon the crown today as it was the day it was sealed. The greatest constitutional document of all times, the foundation of the freedom of the individual against the arbitrary authority of the despot. A quote from Lord Denning, Master of the Rolls, between 1962 and 1982. And in a lot of countries here in the Western world today, we are seeing the rise of arbitrary authority and despotism, which is why it's so important that we enact the Magna Carta and we exercise our rights in accordance with it. Very, very important. Let's use this contract between the Crown and the Barons Committee to exercise and uphold our rights. For more information, you can read the letters that were exchanged between the Barons Committee and the Crown. You can read a full text of the Magna Carta, which we highly recommend you do. You can also see the oath that we have sworn in accordance with Clause 61, and a whole bunch of other things, such as the Queen Elizabeth II, attending the 800th anniversary festival commemorating the Magna Carta in 2015. Whole bunch of information on this page. We recommend you check it out, and we recommend you share it with other people, because in this day and age, exercising our rights against rising despotism in our country and other countries in the British Commonwealth as well is hugely important. We need to be educating ourselves. We need to be empowering ourselves. We need to be exercising these common law provisions and the method in which they are binding upon the Crown today. Any Crown agent who has sworn allegiance to the British Crown must uphold these provisions. They should know this, although they might not openly admit it. They know that the Magna Carta still holds a considerable amount of weight in the administration of justice within the realm today. And so we recommend you familiarize yourself with this. You should be honorable, honest, and act with integrity at all times, especially when you're communicating or operating with other Crown agents. And teach other people this information as well, because it's very important that we arm ourselves with the knowledge and our ancient rights as contained within the Great Charter, the Magna Carta of 1215. Thank you for watching this presentation. We hope it has piqued your interest. Truly, this is something that will benefit your life if you apply it in the correct way. We do recommend that you study this, ask questions, contact us if you need to. You can email us, you can call us, anything of the nature. But this is something that every Canadian and every subject of the British Crown should be taking a look at. Thank you once again for watching, and you have yourself a wonderful day.